I want to talk about blindfold chess, how to train it, why it's actually useful, some free ways to do it, and one really weird thing that happened to me because of it. So, why would you play blindfold chess at all? Because once you get past the hard beginner phase, just thinking about chess actually starts to count as training. You're forced to remember where the pieces are, calculate without relying on the board, pull ideas from memory without guessing, and that does something that normal training doesn't. It's uncomfortable, yeah, especially at the start, but it does a bunch of things at once. Memory, calculation, pattern recognition, all in one go. Even short sessions count. You can go for a walk and train both physically and mentally at the same time. The main way that I trained blindfold was a free resource, the Audible Chess Podcast. It's discontinued now, which is a shame, but the episodes are still out there. I liked it because it tells the games of famous players from history like Paul Morphy, their backstory, and you can also look at the game ahead of time in the description to help with the difficulty, and you can just follow along like a movie. Get a good mental workout, and then it just puts me straight to sleep every time. At first, you'll probably lose the position in your head after a few moves. That's normal, happened to me as well. I did this most nights before bed for 2 months. Not long after that, my rating jumped from 1400 to 1750. I was just seeing things way clearer. I remembered things a lot more. I don't believe chess coaches train blindfold early enough. I am consistent in teaching this very early on, even to young students. I'm not saying that blindfold chess will magically give you 300 points of ELO, but if you're stuck around that range, maybe this is going to help shake things loose. Also, something really strange happened because of this training, but I'll get to that a bit later on. One thing I started doing and still do to this day is what I call blindfold review. After a coaching session, I'll replay the key ideas in my head. After a classical tournament, I'll think about the biggest mistakes that I made. I'll picture them in my head. I'll play the move, and then I'll try and either draw like an X, or I'll try and highlight the square in some sort of color like red. I'm not too good at this, but some people are better than others at this. Or I'll just say bad, no good. And then I'll take the move back, and then I'll think about, or if I already analyzed the game with a friend afterwards, I'll play the correct move to fix my pattern recognition for the long term. It sounds a bit silly, but it works. If you learn an opening with a name, let's say Vienna Gambit accepted. This is very powerful. I'll just say the name of the opening in my head, and it will replay like a movie. Now I don't even have to think about it through all the opening lines to say, let's say move 5 or 6, wherever I've trained to. And then I can move on to the next line. I can say Vienna Gambit main line. I can say copycat variation. And you can review your opening very fast. If you've done this already and you don't have a super long, complicated opening repertoire, you can review all of your lines very quickly. If you've only got 5 minutes to prepare for a tournament, this is amazing because if you know what your opponent plays, you can just quickly review all your lines so you don't forget. But you don't really have to cram because it is in your long-term memory because you've done that the correct way, pulling information out of your memory instead of short-term cramming. But honestly, the funnest and best way to start blindfold chess training right now is just grab a mate, grab a board, take the pieces off the board, and just call out the moves. This keeps your eyes open so you don't need a third person, and it helps with all the tricky bishop diagonals and where all of your pawns are. So it's sort of like easy mode. What I do is you get as far as you can until it gets fuzzy. You get stronger the more you do this, and then you try and remember the position. So you go through from the start until where you can't see any further. You set up the pieces, and then you can play a normal game from there, or you continue blindfold from that position with the pieces where they are. Go for a bit longer, reset again, and you'll be amazed. Even around 1200chess.com, you'll be able to remember a full game blindfold with this board, and then you'll be able to remember every move and what you played because of how much mental effort you put into it. That was one of the light bulb moments for me. Me and my buddy played a 35 game blindfold game, first time with the board as a bit of help. And we remembered everything. We made a lot of mistakes, but that's not the important thing. There is a really good free site called Don't Move Until You See It. And there is a blindfold trainer on there where you can play the engine blindfold. It calls out the moves to you and you input your moves. If you want, if it's too hard, you can periodically click a button which will reveal the board as it is in that position. And then you can continue on. You can change the difficulty. Also, at the finish, you can copy the PGN and you can paste that into a Lichess study. So you have the game and you can analyze how well you did. One thing I noticed from reviewing my own games of this is you play very caveman style. You do more one move threats, direct attacks, and instead of creating tricky counterplay, you retreat when you're attacked. That same site also has a podcast. Same name, worth a look. You can also play blindfold chess against ChatGPT. Just type in, "Can I play chess with you?" And it will text the moves back so you can play it blindfold because you're not seeing the visual board. But you can also type in, if you want for fun, can you make it more visual, and it will do some little dots and stuff so you can play with sort of like a normal board against it as well. Now, this is the part that surprised me the most about blindfold training. For the first 30 years of my life, I'd only had maybe 5 dreams. Seriously, I even went to a sleep doctor as a teenager because I was like, this is weird. People tell me that they dream and I just don't. At the time, the sleep technician told me that you have no REM sleep, dream sleep, and that there's nothing you can do about it. Turns out that wasn't true. Maybe science has advanced more since then. I'm sure it has. Because after doing blindfold chess almost every night consistently for 2 months straight, I started dreaming constantly. Really vivid, creative dreams, and my sleep actually got better because of it. When I stopped doing blindfold chess for months because I get lazy, I start dreaming less. I also struggle to play a full game of blindfold, obviously. It seems like this is a skill you lose if you don't train it, just like calculation. So yeah, that's blindfold chess. Not magic, not easy, but way more powerful than it looks. Probably the single most important thing that helped me in my journey. If you know any free blindfold resources, drop them in the comments and let me know if you try this and how it goes, especially if you've been stuck in a rating plateau like I was. All right, I'll leave it there. Thanks for watching.